Ah. Oh, right, gotta turn this thing on the side. No, no. Alright. Sorry, hang on. Ow! Okay. Alright, let's get started. We have many things to get through. We have much plot to explore. Right, where's the button? There's the button. This should be the button? Yes, this is the button. Here we go. Hooray! Time to go through the mirror dungeon. Because that's gonna take a little second. Yeah, I'm feeling better today than I did yesterday. I just ate too, so I should be good. Right. Straight to driving. Into the depths. We've already seen this. Okay, yeah, there we go. Here we go then. We emerge into a dark and muggy cavern, filled with air so still it almost felt stifled. Up ahead, a thin ray of light shone through the darkness, seemingly guiding our path. Following the light led us to a four-way floating road. A constant, powerful gust howled through one of the paths. Another was filled with metallic tang, the smell of blood. Then there was a path that was entirely silent, and the last one echoed with the harsh noise of a sword striking against sword. The clash! So many people are fighting up there. Must proceed with caution and take advantage. Maybe a battle. Sinners all looked disconcerted at the stringent noise of metal against metal. It was an unmistakable sound battle. He stood ready in troubled silence as the sounds of war only grew louder and louder, until they came to a sudden silent stop. A pedestal made of stacked stones appeared before us, but none of us knew how long it had been. Atop it was a red accessory. The kind one would hang to the bottom of the boat. Ah, a tassel.
와일드 헌트야.
Oh no, not the wild hunt. Anything but that. How wild even? Alright.
도시에선 저런 형태로 사람을 강화하기도 하나 봐. 내가 눈에 새겨줄. 대검창.
진짜 활격.
전술 시야 전.
내가 너희를 위해서 주문을 외웠는데, 응, 잘 걸린 것 같아. 자, 지금 싸워보는 거야.
Okay, so you just
겁날 우리에게 받쳐주지. 왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
억제 성공. 진짜. 격발.
エリートオペレーター並みの腕前です。
최선의 방어를.
그렇게 무르진한데? 지금 완전 삼촌들이랑 공허대 같았어.
위험인물 발견. 제압할게. 적대적 무력 재밌네. 확인산 너희가 좀 더 어설플 거라고 생각해. 맘. 엄마는 이라면 뭐든
너희의 사랑의 힘이 내 힘이
이렇게 해봐라.
만만하게 달려왔던 나를
찾아낼 때까지.
이제 승리도 시간
보여드려야겠군요. 왜 난 예술을
これも作戦の一環リンバスカンパニーの戦い方
어머, 일할 때 건드는 건 싫은데. 어머, 일할 때 건드는 건 싫은데. 포위만 구축.
であれば
위험인물 발견. 제압할게.
가스 도박 지금처럼 엄마와 함께 이곳저곳을 다니며 많은 기억을 쌓아줘. 언젠가 그 중에서 가장 멋진 곳에 나를 데려갈 수 있게.
More than I wanted to. Excuse me. As we are slowly looking through the streets, Escorp. Explain, mission better status. Ba-da-ba. This is a lot of text, Jesus. Ask for directions. Let me ask my group to figure it out. Blade lineage faction modifier. Nice. +6. Why is that a +1? Jesus. Come on. Fuck it, rodeo, give it a shot. Yeah, she stopped and turned around to the mountain had a Kim and I actually don't know. Can you two know? Come on. Kim let out an audible concerted sigh and walked up to the skin person. Take off the royal celebratory flower crown. I don't want people to know you got it. Why? For a good reason. Do it a shame. Thank you. I like this feel of water, no, personally. You may not have no practice with this, or actually, none of you are much put into the art of grinding against the step. I impart this gift to you in hopes that this dropper may form a small flow in your river's lives. Okay.
이런 일은 실패해 본 적이 없지.
When an ally identity gains assist defense, Said ally gains 2 damage up and 2 protection. Only apply to the attempts D1. Speed is fast as the end. Okay. Let me adjust the order then. Moves pretty fast. Speed 3-6. 5-6. 4-7. You're the fastest, apparently. 5. 4-8. 3-6. We'll go with Lotus speed first. If they're gonna be fast, let them be fast. Drive fast. Eat grass.
교류회. 설레네요.
누가 화났을 땐 이렇게 숨소리도 내지 말고 숨어 있어야 해.
배는 맛은 있는 편이 좋은데.
왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
의도는 모르겠지만 이걸로 공평해졌네. 배는 맛은 있는 편이 좋은데. 예측한 대로.
멋지잖아요.
자, 체디, 나를 따라해보는 거야. 짜잔! 매뉴얼을 만들어두길 잘했네. 그렇게만 해. 전술 시야로 잡혀 바닥을 기는 모습은 어디서나 별반 차이가 없네. 내가 눈에 새겨주지. 억제 성공. 격발. 적개체 무력화.
직접 놓아주마.
적개체 무력화.
촌들이랑 고모대 같았어.
확인 사살.
그게 힘이군요.
역시 모르네.
敵は深手を負っています。
지원반이 떠올랐어.
엄마는 목이라면 뭐든 잘 다뤘어. 그중 제일 뛰어난 게 검이야.
That is a lot of crit.
약식 보강 완료.
보여드려야겠군요.
왜 나의 예술을?
아마도 이런 날이었을 거야. 나보다 먼저 엄마가 집에 돌아오는 날. 학교 마치고 집에 돌아왔을 때 문 너머에서
배는
엄마의
맛은
발소리가
있는 편이
들리며
좋은데.
그 울림에 신이 나곤 했지.
별로 재미없네. 인간이 다른 인간을 많이 죽이는 건 진리도록
지금처럼
봤어.
엄마와 함께 이곳저곳을
아,
다니며
지금은 인간이
많은
아닌 것이
기억을 쌓아줘.
인간을 죽인 건가?
언젠가
그래도 똑같아.
그 중에서
그건 더
가장
많이
멋진 곳에
봐왔거든.
나를 데려갈 수 있게.
God, please. No more talking. I catch a glimpse of a figure staring off into the darkness of an unlit prison. Bamboo-hatted Kim lets out a sigh, but before he even fully exhales, who goes there? A sharp cry cuts through the stagnant air. Someone must have noticed us. What should we do? Unsheath our weapons. You're not the prison guards. The woman who called us stood there for a moment, nonchalantly trying to gauge us even as we stood with our weapons drawn. Then she walked up towards us with a gait that could not be called impressive. Instead of chatting with us, she called upon the figure sitting inside the prison. Do you care to explain? Who are they? What happened? One-sided exchange continued for a while as we tried various lines of questioning to chat with the figure inside the cell. But it was to no avail. Might as well be talking to a corpse long dead. That only exasperated inside before turning to us. Are you not here to visit him as well? Might you be those who share his purpose? Say that you are? You must leave escort right this instant. By the time Kim's story ended, the prisoner's curiosity finally bubbled over the limit and threatened to spill over as questions. However, the woman who had just learned the truth of what had happened refused to engage at all and focused entirely on removing the concave clasped around the prisoner's throat. You cannot stay here. There's still much to be done. As for my fellow conspirators, perhaps it would be best that you make yourself scarce as well, considering your precarious position in escort. The side entrance I used should still be open and unguarded. Leave quick. Meanwhile, Bamboo-hatted Kim had wandered off to a corner of the room and picked up a broken piece of wood, pocketing it. Crushed wood man.
단테 씨는 망설임이 없군요.
On hit against an enemy using a slash skill, hit defense down. The enemy has bind, double the above damage. The enemy is faster, the ally that deals 10% more damage based on defense. Okay. Who cares?
강습 준비 완료.
Cancel. Oh. No, I can't be. My life is the experiences, the memories I have recorded are different. Alas, Kim came to a stop with a grim look on his face. Again, I am returned to this day. His voice had dropped to the same morose pitch we had heard before. Mentor, I have been here before. Ah, have you? Had a peek into my memories when I distorted you. I must say, it's a bit embarrassing to have my deepest and darkest secrets revealed like that. Kim grinned sheepishly as though to clear the air. It was becoming rather clear to me what he was doing. That flippant demeanor and seemingly devil-may-care attitude. No, devil-may-cry? devil-may-care attitude were but a mask to hide the true darkness in his heart. Then this must be, indeed, the right state counsel. Someone who I had once protected, thought was worth protecting. He made his way to his front yard. Watch on, dude. Take a tall step over, or you might trip. There were bodies splayed along the yard, and I couldn't dare start counting them. I felt faint watching the aftermath of the carnage. Some were decapitated, some had their torsos split diagonally, and some were so mangled that I could hardly even tell which parts belonged to who. Are they not retainers of the royal court? What were they doing at the councilors? No, they were killed by assassins? Assassins did infiltrate the estate, yes. Are you looking at what remains of them? Oh, these are all assassins. Though I had a moment to glimpse it, I clearly remembered what the escort logo I saw in King's Fathoms looked like. The hats these corpses are, or were wearing, are adorned with the same logo. So why is Bamboo Head of King calling them assassins? In his corrupt land, the right state councilor's life was always as precarious as candlelight in the tempest. Such is the fate of all those who have the guts to speak the truth in escort, where positions of influence are hoarded by corrupt sycophants, whose chokehold on power is iron. Most prominent among them, the left state councilor, the chief state councilor's blessing, sought to wield his own private army to silence forever the tongues of those who would advocate against the corrupt. Private army? Well, they're prohibited in our homeland. So they're kind of like how the great houses of Agecor each had their own armies? That is similar to what is happening, but not exactly. If escort circumstances were to be explained in plainer terms, it would be akin to a situation in which a company, whose employees outwardly appear to be all working on the same side, is in fact fractured within, with certain departments pledging allegiance to a different individual than the chief executive. Wow. My enunciation's better than yesterday. What assassins there had been in the past, or at least wore masks to hide their allegiance. I had thought this no different, though with assassins significantly less invested in maintaining their disguises. Not really realizing I had just placed my stone inside the tiger's home. Looking around at the yard too, The way you alive will reveal that direction so sorry, the motor signals have decided they want to rest. Here, in the home of the honorable right to counselor, failed to work day and night to search for the royal court. I know the assassins are sent out. Get out of my way. I shall collect your head once my task is over. Alas, alas. This looks like play a game of pain song. Are all those who live by the sword as for you? Soldiers, arrest that madman. What? The accused shall plead his crime. 1 moon ago, an anonymous letter threatening to take the life of the revered right state counselor arrived at the royal court. This audacious and contemptuous effrontery is an affront not only to the royal court, but to the heavens of men alike. The revered left state counselor, who has long been with the right to defend on matters of state, found this offense to be so heinous that he has personally commanded his men to protect his political enemy on the day written on the letter. Huh? Yet a tragedy has struck. All those lives sent to protect the noble counselor are slain. The bravery and justice of their honorable hearts trampled upon by this villain. Now the villain promises death to yet another pillar of the royal court. Thus we are, perforce, to arrest the criminal and restore the rule of law. This sounds senseless drivel. I saw your men make their way into the counselor's bedchamber with their blades drawn. Counselor, might you be looking for the right state counselor here, alive and well? Red bleeding down my ear. Perhaps you could have known where not to stick your nose. If you really think you could overcome the entire private army and from the left take out the cylinder. And so many of you men, that stood only into a trap. Why? Now don't take this as compliment. You're not even the apex blade of homeland. Nor are you cloud. So you have been a rather inconvenient obstacle in the execution of my plan. Couldn't get through with the first thing in my plan, with you constantly getting in my way. Let's keep you nicely locked up and out of trouble. This cannot be. For what it's worth, young man, I am sorry. I've come to realize the error of my ways. The truth is, though escort is indeed upon turbid water, those like us who had stirred the dirt from the bed and turned it cloudy. Fearing the worst, we arrived to protect the revered right state counselor. 1,000 curses upon the village. In his quest for the right state counselor's life, the butcher's man has already watered the ground with escort flavor. The very lifeblood that runs through the veins of the most serene. And that charcoal-hearted village is none other than Counselor Stormguard, King Lim. Heed us, soldier! Han Hobei! And let the oral bonds take you. You've fallen far, my friend. You were once considered a candidate for the honor of Queen Guillaume. With that brand of Anobi sapping your strength. Hitting a master with a blade wall is dull. Huh? Are you going to be made executioner? I hadn't received the order to behead you, if that's what you're asking. Nor would it befit someone of my station to sully my hands with an executioner's duty. How will you live on now? I don't know. The counselor has abandoned me. There's no path forward. Salpitio. Agro-industry. More corrupt than I had thought. Rotten to the core. This is game ends. Time to resign myself. Indeed it is. Why are you free? Once the game has been lost, we start anew and test other gatherings in the next round. Better to stop playing without their name where the opponent only starts with stone place them on all 9 stones of the war. Find a place where we can get a meal with good standing. As soon as they realize it was industry, they'll come after. Like someone who made a fool of himself and fled after passing the royal examination. I have the royal court's backing at the military commission. My position is, of course, isn't so simple as they would cast me down right away just as I like to go to my view. Your friend is a criminal. In the eyes of the world court, you're a citizen consequential. I will point that even if you were to, it would still be nothing more than a plaything in the palm of their hand. And you think you were kind to go against the honorable principle. Something can't be done without betting a royalty, and you are needed. Escort's future is in need of those who are less bound by expectations. Besides, it's not the rules I stand by, it's my own principles. I did say I owe you a token of gratitude, didn't I? Consider this essential. Gratitude and vengeance, after all, share common qualities. They are both debts. Come with me. There's no hope left. You said it yourself. You'll never win as long as you're playing the right game. Listen, you might have a nice turn advantage over you. Smaller. I'll manage to keep my fingers out of the common goal. I'll manage to keep my fingers out of the common goal. Not you. Can't even know that without me. The old wisdom says that tyrants must never stand. But wouldn't it help if you had an ally waiting in the tiger to get back to it? There. Hold on. You're bound. Go. Now. Go and build your strength in the outer walls of that. Yet beware of relying overmuch on foreign powers. You'll have it continue to take up such a grand purpose. I'm done with this. You know how I am. Just go with the flow. Yes, do as you will and go with the flow wherever you want it. But I'm just hoping that the currents of the river will some way bring you back to Ecuador. That's all. Though I had left the rigged game, my records afterwards weren't stellar. The laying of the stones in my road was always full of holes and mistakes. I joined the Blade League, became their mentor, dragged them into the library. So eventually I cut down those who had placed their faith in me. Self-defeating move after self-defeating move. When Ye Young had let me go, I thought I had escaped the tiger's maw. But as I let the game progress with the flow, I soon came to realize that my life was an endless sequence of connect the dots. I was in a losing play from the start. Shadows dancing by the distant humanoid forms began to grow like wildfire. And those in the entire Blade League, one by one, used only one approach. Everything became stark and from his memories. Films and photographs can sometimes remain undoctored, but the impressions a person gets from viewing the photograph is believes that if the Blade lineage were to come back to life, they would want to kill him. That's a hell of a burden to carry on your mind.
세피라들도 결국 내 편에 설 수밖에 없을 거야. 나도 그들도 모두 빛의 눈이 멀어버렸거든.
내가 눈에 새겨주지. 격발!
敵に対して大きな打撃を与えました。ドクターのように優れた式ですね。
Claim their bone.
ヘネックな堕落するしっこや。
왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
저술시야 전개. 보기 좋게 거미줄에 걸렸군. 내가 눈에 새겨주지.
보여드려야겠군요.
지금 완전 삼촌들이랑 고모네 같았어. 囚人の皆さんの状態に何か変化が。
영감이 떠올랐어요.
적개체 무력화. 확인 사살.
이번에도 잘해줬어. 유익한 책이 또 하나 늘었네. 도시에는 내가 모르는 것들이 많아. 이렇게 하나씩 알아가다 보면 언젠간 반드시 찾을 수 있겠지. 세상의 모든 것이 담긴 단 하나의 책을.
Rushed in from the same direction the man had come from. We saw a criminal who was covered the king's property. Was covered at the kingdom's properties. Flee in this direction. Speak up if you see me, French. They began walking up to the civilians and questioning Everyone seeing the land jump to the haystack. All of them shake their heads, refusing to look around. Okay, soon they, having made their way through the crowd, protest as well. What should it be? We tell them nothing. That way, huh? Apprentice the assistance. Appreciate the assistance. Once the group hurried down towards the direction I pointed at them towards, the man crawled out of the haystack. Seeing that they had gone, some of the civilians walked from the man gave their hands. Good work. Good work. Can't have those vile God, I don't remember how to say it anymore. I hope saying it yesterday. Take a noble thief like you away. A thief with you. They're all wretches, I say. Wretches. So well fed all. We all starve. Let those big rights be together. Yeah, my thanks. Now I just expect to kill the man outside himself. You're welcome. Who am I, you ask? It seems that the common folk have taken the home of the right-minded. All the skin and sacrifice is corrupt in your chest. Returning them to where they belong. Mental advantage, family, and Kim squeaked a small embarrassed cough. I've lingered here too long. They're already on my trail again. It's about time I saw myself off. In a hurry, he bade us a moment to wait as he rummaged through the sack and produced a few food packages. Take these. It's not much, but it'll be quite filling for those on the road like yourselves. Gratitude and vengeance, after all. Share a common quality. They are both quite debts to be repaid, huh? With that, you retreat to the shadows.
단테 실은 망설임이 없군요.
Nice and healthy. For what's it sound?
그대, 이 검이 필요하오.
너희 보조사서들은 나와 다를 바 없을 거야. 그 사람의 계획에 한껏 이용당하고 결국 버려진 신세잖아. 나는 살고 싶어. 너희도 마찬가지일 테고. 그러니 협력해줬으면 해. 단 하나의 책을 찾을 수 있도록.
배는 맛은 있는 편이 좋은데.
왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라!
벌써 끝내가노.
엄마는 무기라면 뭐든 잘 다뤘어. 그중 제일 뛰어난 게 검이었고. 역방향? 그래, 분명해. 악당들도 생각지 못한 상황일 거야. 기회는 지금!
포위망 구축. 역시 모르네.
매뉴얼을 만들어두길 잘했네. 그렇게만 해.
느껴졌어? 내가 너희를 위해서 주문을 외웠는데. 응, 잘 걸린 것 같아. 자, 지금 싸워보는 거야.
위험인물 발견. 제압할게.
진짜 역직한 대로.
재밌네. 난 너희가 좀 더 어설플 거라고 생각했거든.
역시 모르네.
여기까지 와서 망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라도
내가 눈에
처음부터
새겨
거래를 하지 말았어야지.
역직한 대로.
우와, 지금 완전 삼촌들이랑 공모대
배는 맛은
같았어.
있는 편이 좋은데.
지금처럼 엄마와 함께 이곳저곳을 다니며 많은 기억을 쌓아줘. 언젠가 그 중에서 가장 멋진 곳에 나를 데려갈 수 있게.
Sorry. Going back to something. Alright. Here we go. Last bit. The question tables.
별일 수 있는 기회겠죠?
Oh, no picture. I see how it is. Like a prey backed against the cliff's edge, I am left bereft of paths. My hand hesitates with no room to place the stone. Misjudgment burgeons with contemplations. Harrow the mind indeed. Now all that remains is to neutralize the one enemy combatant in the yard. Tell me, who is waiting for us there? You should know, this place and its enemies are projections of your memories. Not the hardest guess to make, is it? I expect to find the opposite there. She was a woman of loyalty and principles. Oh, sorry. Even as military commissioner, she never stopped wanting to change the way of the royal court once. But even she must know. I scoured the newspapers and TV for anything I could find on the current state of Escalade. It was plain as day that nothing changed from my on baseless speculation, concerns grown uncontrollably? Never have you spoken to us about such a monstrous one in the past. Thus, what lies before you is but a figment of the distortion reflected by the memories. Did this Hyoyeon appear as the monster to the torn? No. She wasn't like that. Young Yup still believe that the Salpigao agro-industries deserve to die. But destruction's not the point. The point is that I want it to be a place where I can cut away the avaricious corrupted and have it be a wing that cares for its common folk. If I didn't know that, I would have thought you were seeking to supplant your current destiny. You know that's not what I'm talking about. I'm just a wanderer, floating down the river's flow to where the current state. When the river bent and I hit a wall, someone picked me up and made a blade out of it. Once abandoned, I returned to the flow and found myself a mentor to those who afforded me undeserved fate. And the river continues to swim, carrying me back to Esco, whence I had fled. Shall I let the blade see my inner thoughts? I think I'm not satisfied with the way Esco is. But your method, as it is now, goes against the principles. I expect better from someone than your wiles. If you enjoy those principles so much, why ask me to leave the game? Because someone has to stay behind and try to bring change within the limits of their principles. I only hope that one of those bends in the river of yours would float you back to knock on the gates of Esco once it was primed for change. Has that changed? What do you think? You at least think I have. Because you believe that I shall stand in your path. And stem the flow of this river and evermore. Very well. The law states that the man of the will is the crime of death and life. I, young, and a second coordinator of the Yale, agro-industries, officials of sword and military commissioners of the world sever the bud of rebellion before the cause. Well then. She's playing the role that he wants her to play.
오늘도 정의로운 날이 될 수 있도록 힘내자. 다 함께 아르카나 비트.
내가 눈에 새겨주지. 핫!
최선의 방어를.
요료슈쿠! 엄마가 만반잘부는 싫다고 해서 내가 만들어준 인사말이야. 요슈니까 요료슈쿠!
I should get that high. Can't believe you going for that one. Cool idea.
위험인물 발견. 제압할게요. 보여드려야겠군요. 왜냐면 예술은 도시에서는 누구도 자유롭지 못해.
오젝트의 눈을
저 손님이라고 예외는
More
없지.
manageable now. I was
위험인물 발견. 제압할게요.
필수지. 가져갈래요.
모든 걸 걷어들일 순 없었어.
効果的な攻撃でした。
I thought I. Oh.
느껴졌어? 내가 너희를 위해서 주문을 외웠는데. 응, 잘 걸린 것 같아. 자, 지금 싸워보는 거야.
영감이 떠올랐어요.
왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
엄마는 무기라면 뭐든 잘 다뤘어. 그게 제일 뛰어난 관이야. 레이저. 아니야. 마이너 아르카나 정도겠지? 조심해. 마이너라고 해도 생각보다 강할 수 있으니까. 내가 응원해줄게.
So, do I have to have some resistance damage on? Let them try to attack. Well, so let them attack. Go in there. down, Otis.
진짜. 격발.
운명의 기운이 공명하는 것 같아. 그 공격을 선택한 건 좋았던 것 같네.
Good job.
한눈 팔지 마세요. 맨날은 당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니. 새삼스럽지만 꽤 괜찮네. 저거보다.
해냈구나. 나라도 그랬을 거야.
두려울
시야
거야. 접대가 시작되면 사서들은 다시 살아날 수 있다는 사실을 망각하게 돼. 그걸 알고 있으면 사서들과 손님들이 느끼는 감정이 달라질 텐데 그건 불공평하잖아.
배는 맛은 있는 편이 좋은데.
자, 차디, 나를 따라해보는 거야. 짜잔!
매뉴얼을 만들어두길 잘했네. 그렇게 말해.
이럴 때는 지몸미라고 하는 거야.
특이한 밤이 떠올랐어요. 아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로
Plan is fine. Could have planned them better.
모든 걸 거둬들일 순 없었어.
サンタさんの作戦とても効果的でした。
위험인물 발견. 제압할게요.
찢어 발겨주마.
There we go.
일찍 끝나겠군. 이런 걸 보면 단축의 예술. 끝을 알 수 없던 엄마가 선택한 최선의 방법이었을지도 모르겠어. 거미집에서의 생활, 내가 겪어야 했을 기다림도 뭐 짧게 끝내고 싶었을 테니.
Why not? Let's just
망설임이 없도록.
아득한 여정, 멈추지 않는 시대에서 희망과 미래를 찾아 스스로 답을 구하시길.
왜 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
세 번 배언한다. 과거를 1000번 단조하여 배언해. 미래에서 1000번 거슬러 찢어내. 찰나의 일수, 다시 1000번을 끊어. 산zen 다이세카이. 자세에 틀림은 없군.
어머, 일할 때 건드는 건 싫은데. 내가 눈에 새겨주지. 여행에는 목적이 있었지.
모두가 너를 잊어도 반드시 되찾을 거다. 계속해봐라. 이 폭풍이 잦아들 때까지.
분명하네. 압도적인 사랑의 힘으로 아르카나들은 전부 정화될 거야. 역시 내가 엄청 도움이 됐지?
내가 눈에 새겨주지.
I'm gonna learn how to do it.
진격대체 무력과 확인
I
사살.
come out with bullets. It's not as powerful as I recall. Yet weighed down by the brand, I am not so far ahead of 49. I don't know, I think you're doing pretty well. Verily, they appear evenly matched. Yet, he's wielding that sword like he's trying to get himself killed. That blade work is far beneath him. Seeking the end here, is he? Can you afford to look away in a duel? What are you doing? You'd rather lock your sword in his mind and tear it away. You can't have a proper sword without a blade lock, though, huh? A duel between the mentor of the syndicate and a military commissioner of escort. His neck and neck clash after clash. Two warriors eventually lock their blades in a contest of might before it comes to the close finale. Final bout. Fatal bout. When the dust settles, the mentor lies in the sand, dead. If that's what you want, I'll grant you it. Good. Let's finish this. Mrs. Bamboo had him and Guillaume Ip ready for their final bout. Angdu leaped into the air between them. Angdu? Are you really so ashamed that you would choose death over life? Are you so scared to live that you would rather die? Yes, I am scared. I'm terrified of my own audacity to live by days as though I hadn't failed everything and everyone who had the misfortune of placing their faith in me. My mission, my honor, my fellows, as though my path is haunted by ghosts. As though I can stand shamelessly between the watching eyes of the heavens. What have I even done with the life that was given to me? Blind to the reality of my homeland. I served a master who chose politics and loyalty and justice. I cut down my very fellows who chose to trust a fool like me. I watched my entire life as the flow carried me. And when I finally had a mind to look back, all I saw were blood-red traces everywhere I had gone. Isn't it about time I admitted that this game cannot be won? Mentor, weakness in your strength has failed your mission. Weakness in your position has failed your honor. And the weakness in your heart has become the fiendish blade that cut down your fellows. You? I thought you were here to talk me into keep on living. If you weren't to pain me so. What weakness of yours is it this time? That you will cast away your own creed of life and life. What other weakness will you use as an excuse today? Stop trying to bear responsibilities not of you. The blade lineage was never about responsibility, nor was it about you, Mentor. Or does your overbearing guilt help you overestimate your progress? What was the saying again? Fellow travelers in the same boat will aid one another. Not a single soul demanded that. Talk about kicking the kind of one down. But I have had enough with that flippin' larking of yours. We all have. You truly believe that not a single one of us had picked up on the fact that your levity was a means of relieving yourself of the burden you had cast upon your own shoulders. None of us ever demanded some impossible feat of you. What was it that you've always said to describe yourself? That you are but a butchering blade that wields not itself, a tool wielded by willing hands. Why, Mentor? I know not the kind of shame or responsibility a mere tool has. Do you? Do you? Because I fail to see any. If the shame does not subside still, then shroud your face with that bamboo hat of yours and live on. Live on so that you may repay your debts. Out of blades, out of arrows. Even the heart that sought death lies between them. No stone left before my castle. Perhaps there was some merit in your ways that a husband Sorry? Not what I said. When did you figure that out? Yes, I inverted. The bamboo hat is like an unnamed ship. Now you and Young were both knocked away from bamboo hat again and broke down the bar. Jim raised his gaze to meet in the air as though someone shared. Apollo laughed. Oh no! Voice! Your last move was not a good one. Indeed, I did wish to become a blade. So what did you do? Force me into an indiscriminate one that is blindly to the feet and bones. Seems that in your excitement, you have cornered yourself in the last move. Well, as it seems I have an opportunity to trace our path. Allow me to try something different. Be not so vexed by this. As you say, you never know when the next game comes, what the next game will bring. know not whether this world is what sounds my name, but I desire it to be a controlling stone nonetheless. Thank you. I will take it. I'll take it. Huh. Strange vision impression dissipates. The armored woman and the young man readjusted the body. Jim turned around and looked at her, saw that a rose shadow was on his lips and face. Today's fire makes me oh. Bit embarrassing to change my stance now. Now, I suppose you'll be okay with that. Of course. The high command games that you have right there. And then we go before my friends along. Bamboo bed, draped with silver shores. With wine and garments in mirth like donkeys, from shroud to on my brow. Though winds and rains may rage, I shall not be alone. Hi to me, then who had it right. Speak your name, for I find your outfit dubious and character. I am the one who has mentored the members of slaves to finish your head. I am the one who has sought to bring salvation to the downtrodden, to no avail. What to call a man who has failed to convert himself to the world? How to name a man who has failed to bear the weight of the world? There is none. So call me bamboo-hatted king. Bamboo-hatted king. The treasonous wretch.
지금처럼 엄마와 함께 이곳저곳을 다니며
Well, that's certainly different from just distorting. The photographs rapidly pulled away from reality. Perhaps because Tim has successfully managed to take his own path. When the photographs and the memories that were overlaid upon the faculty are pulled away, it remains a man in dirty ragged The fathoms of Esco slowly lose grip on the world, and soon reveals the fathoms of the misfortune that was hidden beneath it. I see residents of the back streets in their blissful highs from taking the canned experience. A man who's watching them with disapproval. Why? Why is everyone running away from all this? A baker, always surrounded by the smell of freshly baked bread. A florist who makes lovely bouquets for graduating youngsters. A photographer who captures beautiful sights to remember. They're our lives, our experiences. You want to be a billionaire with an extravagant mansion and a nest? A legendary fixer who can make the cynical cower in fear just by going on a stroll? What you get from these cans is not real. Everything in your life has just empty meals to wait so that you can get high on fake purchase experience nailed into a can? That's all your life is. In my life, the photographs are taken of. No, it can't be. My life, the experience of the memories that I photographed are different. We're all blindly consuming fake experiences as the fake experience, without a care about the real thing. That's why you're all floundering, grasping at illusions. So, let me show you the things I've felt. The memories, the experiences, the reality of your lives. It was only in passing that I glimpsed an unmistakable grimace, a scowl on Ursul's face. I reflected upon the events of today, and could at least begin to guess as to why that might be. You don't believe there's any experience in either the canned experiences or that guy's photographs, do you, Ursul? Because experiences and memories aren't the same thing. What really distinguishes them, I wasn't sure. Correct, Monica. But what I knew was that the distinction was, for whatever reason, important to Ursul. Oh, he's back. Huh? The figure materialized into a humanoid form, swirling out of the projector. He must be the distortions. And next to him, another figure, stumbling out in a giant suit of armor. Blimey, that thing's still alive? It is but an overlay of fathoms created within a distorted space. The concept of life and death has little meaning for such a thing. Yet faint does she grow. It must be the distortion's power is waning. Pardon. Accused one, for these are your crimes. The crime of fomenting chaos in a foreign wing while impersonating John of Salpiqueo Agro-Industries. The crime of exploiting the suffering of agro-industries, downtrodden as a mere veil for one's own fathoms. And though it be a part of reenactment, impersonating a military commissioner of the kingdom without the royal decree. Pursuant to the laws of the homeland, the accused is to be sentenced to death by beheading. Before we even had a chance to step in or anything, the faint mirage-like warrior brought her sword down on the Docufer's neck, decapitating them. Can an entity of the fathoms slay one outside it? Such an instance has heretofore never been observed, but as it is happening right now, right before our eyes, I can only say, yes. No shit, Faust. Yeah, that's about the first time that's ever happened. At least I believe so. Young Yup is a woman of principle. She would have done the same to the bitter end had she truly been here. As the headless body of the inflection point crumples to the ground, Young Yup's shape slowly phases out of reality. And we found ourselves back in the projector room. And there... Hey! No way! Don't tell me that headless corpse is... No, oh, whatever. We found a large group of injured N-Corp staff thrown paramount about the room, and Ezra was looking down at the headless body of the Docufer. I mean, sure, I guess it would be surprising. Who the heck is this?
한때 도시의 별에 올랐던 손가락의 간부라 해도 이제 와선 시기를 놓쳐버린 퇴물일 뿐.
Alright, we'll finish this off right now. Just
여기는 LCA 선봉팀 오제트. 작전 목표 달성. 시체는 회수한 뒤 연구 부서에 인계하겠다.
When have we subjected? Yep, right on. Gotcha, team leader. And that's the initial report done. Good work, guys. Tucking her radio back in, Ezra commended us in a relieved voice. The distortion has perished in the mission. Will that not cause trouble? Yeah, that kind of sucks. It's not like you guys could help it. Who would have thought that the distortion would kill its own inflection point? If we knew that in advance, we probably would have prepared something to stop it, but... well, that's for the LCD and the team leader to investigate. All in all, this mission was a success since we managed to eradicate the distortion from N-Corp, not to mention satisfying our client. Also, Azra looked towards Ungdu and Kim with a light-hearted shrug, clearly less concerned than she had been earlier. Now I finally know why you've been disappearing on your own without telling us. Glad you don't seem to be having any more reason to, though. So it's all good. No, he still will. Hey, that's the real win of this mission in my book. Woo-wee. Point is, we did it. We did the thing, it's done. Gosh, I swear, I am never doing one of these without the team leader ever again. Seriously, I got this close to losing it more than a few times. It seemed that the responsibility of looking after her LCD juniors had kept her stressing and high-strung throughout the mission. I hadn't noticed it, but her brows had finally relaxed, bringing back the chipper Ezra eyes I was more familiar with her. Thus, I shall not abide by more of indolences. You will now join us on missions and tasks as you were expected to. Is that understood, Mentor? Ungdu, why would you mind releasing the hems of my sleeve? What I wouldn't give to lie down and pass out right about now. The raw emotion in Kim's voice had likewise faded, with Ungdu's voice no longer as barbed as it had been in the Fathoms. It seemed to me that the two were back to a more relaxed selves I knew. Can't exactly say more relaxed for Kim though, because that's how he's always been, at least from what I've seen. In any case, fine, you are released. Phew. You've given me a good, hard shake. I don't feel so good. Say, Ungdu, I'm afraid they may have gone overboard with upgrading your arm. With your hem released, allow me to reiterate that. Stop! My heart finds peace as well as I watch them bicker. Is everyone doing okay? Yes, Executive Director. Our forces have only suffered minor injuries that do not require you to go through the trouble of rewinding the clock. Hang on, May. I've got a dislocated shoulder. Nah, you can fix that. I can pop that right into place for you. Allow me. I've taken care of similar injuries in the field. Yeah, I guess what happened last time you did that? You rotated my bloody arm the wrong way and turned the bones in my shoulder into little chips. Don't sweat it, I can rewind that. By now, I've already grown used to the pain of rewinding the Cine's injuries. The dislocated shoulder shouldn't be a big deal. I have ought to ask the clarification if thou will. At least it's nice to know that they're not going to him for every little cut and bruise. If it's manageable, it'll be manageable, and we won't have to heal it off. That, however, we don't need it getting even worse than it is. Yeah? Does thou recall how, as we battled the N-Corp's pin frame team, the foes have taken photographs of us? Uh-huh. And? They are those who were sent to identify and capture the one who has violated the taboo. Forsooth? As we stood in their path, 'tis no mystery why we had come to blows. Yet I find this to be the most perplexing. Wherefore did they take so many photographs of us? Maybe they were taking photographs to report their locations. Recording footage is taboo in N-Corp, meaning they can't install security cameras here. The only option for keeping it a consistent record when tracking down a case or person is by photographs. Thine words hold water, yet most puzzling forsooth. For I recall with clarity that from a certain point they had began photographing us with renewed obsession. Oh, hey, so that sounds like a question for Marcel. Given how often I had to rely on the information Marcel had provided me in this mission, I think I've gotten enough practice with how to phrase my questions for the right way to pull the answers I need from him. I think at a certain point they switched targets and were taking pictures of us because they're gonna have to deal with us soon. I couldn't get him to tell us his own judgments on matters, but since he seems to have a near photographic memory of what he's seen, Marcel, do you remember how many pictures of us the N-Corp staff took? I do. 56 times. That's a lot of pictures. Do you actually remember the exact number of times they shot us? I do. It's always so neat seeing his memory in action. So, did you get the chance to see which one of us got the most photographs taken? I did. Oh! Who was it? Who is it? Is it me? I make a fine model if I do say myself. No, it wasn't you. It was me. Huh. Huh? Why? I mean, what's the most statistically likely reason that it was for you? That it was you? It was at that moment that I heard the sound of pebbles crunching under boots approaching us, louder and louder. I've also just kind of realized last stream that Marcel's gloves look a little similar to these guys' gloves. What the heck? Are you here because we beat up some of your guys? Listen, we had to because of the distortion. See? It is as she says. The skirmish was an unfortunate consequence of combating the distortion phenomenon. Limbus Company provides customer damage compensation program in cases of unforeseen events. Instead of engaging us in battle, please elect to contact the emergency response team at our headquarters at here first. Yes, we fully understand the circumstances surrounding the battle, and we intend to submit an expedition request for damage and compensation as you have recommended. We are here on a different business, so if you please so kind as to let us speak. We are here to rescue the manager. Hold on. What's up? Let's hear them. Wait, what? Result did not resist. He walked past us and joined the bank. Please confirm that you are Result. Formerly one who nailed, and a former member of the maintenance and management team at the Grand Magazine System. Formerly one who nailed. So there's the one who drifts. So is he supposed to be similar? I'm gonna have to check the identity. Confirmed. By the decree of the Giants, you have been expelled from N-Corp, with imprisonment as the penalty for non-compliance. Pursuant to Article 12 of the eviction regulation, you have also been informed that remaining in N-Corp district for no more than 6 hours may subject you to immediate arrest. Please confirm that your memory pertaining to the above incident has not been expunged, and you are of sound mind when recalling entirety. Confirmed. Very well. Then in keeping with regulations, I hereby notify you that you are now subject to arrest and transfer. Place your hands behind your back and please offer no resistance. I am required to inform you that resistance may incur further penalties. Wait! Stop! What the hell is going on? Wait, forget all that. Did you know this would happen this week? So, it's just calmly with his arms behind his back at the end of his hand up. Not a class I did that. Marcel, come on, you gotta tell us this shit. Well, why the heck did you warn? Well, it's best to question more reasons. But I didn't need to be described with no lie. Right. I never asked, did I? I'd say you should have warned us way earlier, but you justified all of it just going forward. Yes, I'm right. Subject now in custody. From this moment onward, you are considered a suspect and will be transported to headquarters for your trial. As for the rest of you, the organization the suspect is part of. Organize your arse! When the bloody hell do you think you're eating? You're about to antagonize and awake. In the absence of a reasonable vital cause, such as a contract, engaging a battle with city's corporate entities is strongly discouraged. Yeah? And we're just supposed to twiddle our thumbs while they drag him away? This must be another piece of information they neglected to tell me. Yet another development that was set in stone. Despite calm voice or calm and collected explanation, I could tell this was not a pleasant situation for Foul Steer. I feel sending an uncomfortable glance at the in-court employees. So, where are you taking them? A retrial will be scheduled for the next execution, for the execution of the exile's sentence. A retrial? They replied dispassionately as they took him into custody. We looked back at them, not knowing what to do or to say. The late afternoon sun drifted at us like 1,000 hot noodles. So, help, tough, gazed at us with an expression that I could not have seen that place on an ordinary day. What the fuck? Oh, and that's it. Jesus. Alright, and I guess the next arc is gonna take place shortly after this, where we're making our way into Endgame. So, well then, I've got a bit of grinding to do on here then. That'll come later. Let me see if I can just randomly see what happens.
앵두야,
Oh,
이건 또 다 뭐냐?
okay, I wasn't expecting this.
보시다시피 일입니다. 우두께서 그동안 놀고 먹으며 테레비만 보았으니
그러니까 S사 주변 정세를 알아보려 두문불출한 것이라고 분명. 아니다. 그래, 일이나 가르쳐 주렴.
일단 바닥 말고 의자에 앉으십시오. 마이크가 안 닿지.
How did I roll two of them? What the hell? Well, at least it gave me a bunch of thread. Alright, roll again. See what happens. Okay. Don't tell me it's another audio track. Okay. Fine, use my last 20 tickets and get the voice track 3 times. What the fuck, Limbus? Whatever. Alright, we're gonna close this out for a moment. We're gonna take a 15-minute break. Then we're gonna come back to Limbus. See you in a bit.